Well, forgiveness. I have the secret ingredient here for forgiveness. It's right in there. I also have a little nostalgia on forgiveness. And maybe there's been some people here who have been around for a while, and maybe they'll remember this word. Does anybody remember that word? Well, it's been a while since we've used it, so it doesn't surprise me. So much going on right now. So much going on. Yes, I got that news this week, and it was like, oh boy. Who did this? And it turned out that there was a group of them, that had, a group of people I work with who decided to nominate me in. I do work with young people who are at risk, some of them more so than others. So I do it for the kids. I don't do it for myself. I don't do it so I can stand out and say, hey, look at me. It's quite humbling, though, to have an experience like that. And I'm sure that because this is March, I'm going to find a way to forgive each and every one of those people who nominated me and go before me. So the jumble, as you would guess, does work out to be the word forgive. Oh, that's nice. Well, forgiveness is kind of not an unusual thing, but if you looked in a lot of science and mind books that I have at home, and they don't deal a lot with forgiveness. Deal with a lot of other things, but just forgiveness isn't there. So I'll rely on another book today, the Bible. That's full of forgiveness. When Jesus was on the cross, I believe one of his comments, or last comments, was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. In the Old Testament, there's the story of Joseph, and his brothers really treated him, I mean, they didn't treat him very good at all. Well, he got this really nice coat, and so the brothers were really jealous of it, and so they conspired against him, and so they went out to take care of the sheep, and he shows up, and well, he had a dream, and he told them that everyone was going to bow down to him, and it was just one of those things, and they just, that rubbed them the wrong way. So they decided, they threw him in a pit. They were going to leave him in a pit, and they took his coat and tore it up and put some animal blood on it, took it to the father, told him he was dead. He really wasn't. Some slave traders came by, and they sold him to these slave traders, and then the slave traders sold him to an official in the Pharaoh's court, and he worked there. But through all of these what you would call a series of unfortunate events, he stayed positive, and he always thought that there's something better that's going to happen, and that's how he pulled himself through it. So naturally, in the end, he's got the whole country of Egypt very prosperous because he kind of foresaw famine coming and had them store wheat and grain up so that so the people wouldn't starve. But they had so much that neighboring communities were coming and getting food. He recognized his brothers, and it had been several years. I mean, probably 10 or 15 years since the incident of him getting sold. Anyway, he kind of gives them a little bit of a bad time, but in the end, he forgives them, and all is well. So, so much for biblical. There was a song that hit my head. It was an Eagles tune, and thanks to my wonderful wife, who is the internet research expert of the house, it's an Eagles tune, and it's called "The Matter of the Heart." And the chorus in that is there's about forgiveness. Even if you don't love me anymore, there's forgiveness. So enough of the nostalgia, and let's get on with some of the new stuff I thought about. Well, one of the new things is a secret ingredient that I have here, and I'm going to open that right now, and I'll share it with you. And some of you will be surprised, and some of you won't. But the secret ingredient is love. Now, you ask yourself, love. What does love have to do with forgiveness? Well, we have to put love into the equation, and even though I'm a mathy person, I didn't really mean to say it that way, but you have to put it into the equation to see how it's going to work. So, how do you get love into it? Well, a couple things, and you're going to have to forgive me because this was kind of my last minute prop here, and I've always had trouble with these, even though I was a bus driver for a lot of years. These things, you know, the CHP guy's going to test it, and he says, okay, well, you have to put these things together, you know, and you go, well, all right, I think I can do that, and if you're lucky, you know, you get it done, and he gives you a big pat on the back, and everything's fine. So, oh, watch out for the love there. Okay, so what does this red triangle have to do with anything? Well, if you know anything about triangles, you'll know that a triangle is the strongest shape there is. And if you really want to build something that's indestructible, you build it on the basis of a triangle. So, if we want to, say, build our forgiveness, then the first thing we're going to want to do is right here at the base, we're going to want to start with love. Okay, so let's start with love. But how do we get that in there? Well, on one of these sides, we're going to say we're going to be accepting of what's going on. So if we can accept, then we can forgive. But accepting also involves letting go. And so, how do we let all that go? Well, we can do that by redirecting through affirmations. And I have a whole bunch of these great little affirmation cards. The affirmation is the same on all of them. So I would encourage everybody just to take one, because the best thing about an affirmation is you can post it on your mirror in your bathroom. You look at it every day. You can put it on the refrigerator. And what it says is, I am love. And I am forgiving because I am love. So I'm just going to kind of let these go around the room. They're all the same, so just pick your favorite colors, kind of where that goes to. So, another part of this equation is time. How do we use time to forgive? Well, they say time heals all wounds, and yeah, that's true. You know, time does heal. But what is it actually that's happening during that time? If it's a physical injury, like I unfortunately did to my finger last week, it's the body just takes time to heal. So if something happens to us emotionally, depending upon how severe that is, we're either going to accept it and move on with it and let time heal it. Try to put it maybe in the background. You know, sometimes we try to forget about it. But what happens when it rears its ugly head again? Then it's time to fall back on the affirmation. Go back to the affirmation. Redirect your thoughts, redirect your thinking, and get it off of what happened and get it onto something better. Now, another piece of this turns out to be something that I got biblically. I had another word, I was going to change it though, after I read this. So out of Luke chapter 6, verse 37, it says, "Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned." And here's the punchline: "Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven." So the other part of this triangle, if we use non-judgment, if we have love, acceptance, and non-judgment, then we have some nice tools to work with to move through those things that have upset us. And so really, I'll move that because it can be kind of dangerous. So, just kind of dangerous, yeah. So, there's a lot of people that deal with forgiveness and how to forgive. And I ran across I didn't even know this, and it just hit me. I was looking through some of my notes, and a man named Gerald G. Jampolsky. And I'm going now, I don't exactly remember what he was up to or what he did or how he became famous or what his deal is. So, my absolutely fabulous internet researcher goes, oh, here I got it for you. So he was the founder of the Attitudinal Healing Center. And the center teaches the power of unconditional love. And he is the author of Forgiveness, the Greatest Healer of All, and Love is Letting Go of Fear. And so here's a quote from him. It says, forgiveness is the letting go of the past and is therefore the means of correcting our misperceptions. So perception is a big part of this too. And you can just take more words and you can just build on that triangle and make that thing so strong. You know, pretty soon it's got a mind of its own and it's growing. So our perceptions, though, it's how we perceive it. And some of us, well, we're all different naturally. So some of us take things harder than others, and some of us, like water off a duck's back, it's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. So it just depends upon how deeply you were connected to the situation or the event that happened. And I personally feel like before we can move out and before we can forgive other people for whatever's happened, we have to look at ourselves. And we have to understand that we played a part in that. And that we were a piece of that puzzle. And it wasn't just something that someone else did. It always takes two to tango. Or three, or four, however many. So, our perceptions lead us into these, somebody did that, that was wrong. I just could never forgive them for that. But I think if we can get to the point where we can say, instead of saying, I think the use of the word forgive is great, but I think if we could say, I love you. Yes, you did that thing and I didn't appreciate that, but you know what? I still love you and care about you. Boy, how tough is that? It's tough enough to say I forgive you, but maybe just a little bit. Play a little higher trump card and say I love you. It was fine. All is forgiven. So as we move on, in the short end of the month, we're dealing with forgiveness, but we're looking at transformation and how things transform. And when we use the power of forgiveness, it transforms how we feel about situations and people and what's happened to us. And it makes our life just that much better. If we don't look for the blame, if it comes our way, and if we can be like Clark Kent with the Superman outfit, and things just bounce off of us, then so be it. Let that happen. But that doesn't happen for all of us. So unfortunately, some of us are like sponges and we just absorb it. And then it's hard to get rid of it. But we can. We can accept it. We can let it go. We can be non-judgmental. And we can all come from a base of love. And I say, and so it is.